Hello everybody and welcome to Offhand Ideas. I just gotta say before I'm doing this video, this has gotta be the craziest setup I have ever done in my life because I'm not in my room with my high quality microphone recording this as I should be. I am in my living room because my microphone will not work for the life of me and I'm just not in the mood to fix it. I'll do it in the morning because I'm filming this in the evening. So yeah, before we get in, I just want to say my scheduling process. I was going to do a video about Technoblade and why I miss him and a bunch of other things, and maybe those videos will come out, but I'm just going to go with the flow and see how things do. My scheduling is a bit whack, so on to the video. Today we're going to be discussing Jurassic World Rebirth and How to Train Your Dragon and how one succeeded and one failed. This isn't going to be a brief thing on how they've made. This is going to be a very short video, and I'm just going to discuss why I liked one and disliked the other, and I just wanted to group them both together because doing two separate individual videos would be a bit much, and I don't really have much to say about one, and I don't really have a lot to say about the other because I have very solid feelings on both of them. So I'm going to share them right here. So before we get in, please make sure to like, comment, subscribe. And let's start with Jurassic World Dominion. Jurassic World Dominion, it's directed by the same guy who did Rogue One, and knowing that, I went in with very high expectations. I didn't even care the Jurassic World name was on it, because for me, that ain't saying much, because Jurassic World has been on a slow decline these past few years. Like, the first one was good, the second Jurassic World was fine, the third one was bad, and the OG Jurassic Park movies are untouchable. They're so goated. The first one is for genuine good story, and the second and third one is for the memes. And, I wasn't really, hyped up for Rebirth, but then I heard, the director of Rogue One was doing it, and then Mahershala Ali was doing it, and Scarlett Johansson was doing it, and Jonathan Bailey was doing it, and, that was a stacked cast that I never thought would be in a Jurassic Park movie, and I like all those actors, so I thought maybe I'd give it a shot, and, it was alright, I guess. I just didn't like how the film was written, and I know that's very critical, but, it's kind of obvious that this script and a lot of aspects of the film were reshot and rewritten many times. There's one scene in the movie, which this is spoilers, so if you haven't seen the film, if you want to, you can go see it. There's a scene in the film where Mahershala Ali's character is saying we need to get into the shallow end because the mosasaurs will not kill us in the shallow end. But then when they finally get to the shallow end, one of the characters is going to get the stuff, and one of the mosasaurs get her while she's in the shallow end. So what was the point of them going to the shallow end? And that's another whole point of a problem I have with this film, is the characters. Yes, it's the director of Rogue One, so, a lot of key characters are gonna die, but, you don't really get a lot of time with the characters. There's one guy named Bobby. At the beginning of the film, Scarlett Johansson hugs him, then 2 minutes later, he gets eaten by a mosasaur. At least in Rogue One, even though they did all die in Rogue One, we at least had time to care about them, Cassian and KK-20, and that made me, love them so much, and that gave them their death impact. There were scenes in this movie where, the piano and violin were playing when, a character died, and I just didn't even care, because I didn't even know who in the Lord's name those characters were, and what they had done, other than being just background characters. And my final problem, until I get onto my positives, is just there was this entire family side plot going on. I wish that wasn't a thing, because I felt like it was weighing down the main story of them getting these 3 blood types from all these different dinosaurs, and that's really where the main plot shines. It's the group, and I wish they didn't shove in the family, because the boyfriend, oh my gosh, the boyfriend was so annoying. There's literally a line in this film where he says out of nowhere, "I have weed." That is the level of comedy that the family amounts to, and it is actually insufferable. There are a few times where I cracked a smile because of how stupid it was, but I feel like the movie would have been a lot better. It would have been better legions if the family had not been in it. And the kid in this film is like a Viltrumite. There was a scene in the film where the T-Rex picks her up in the raft and chews at her, bare boninglessly. And, any sane person would think she would be dead. But no, she is alive and well, and she doesn't have a scratch on her body. How does that even work? You have to be, Deadpool or a Viltrumite to survive, a beating by a T-Rex. I don't know how that worked, and the child, in my opinion, was a Viltrumite. They seriously did not want her to die. And I feel like if the family would have been cut, it would have elevated the film much more, because I feel like we did not have enough time with the core cast, that being Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, and Jonathan Bailey, because they were so good. They were the standout in this film, and I feel like we needed a lot more time with them. And the family could have still been in it, but I wanted, a chunk of their scene to be, developing the characters, and, Mahershala Ali not having his son around, and Scarlett Johansson being an assassin and losing her friend, and Jonathan Bailey being nervous and wanting to make the world a better place. I feel like we could have gotten more scenes developing, who the characters are and, why they're here and the pain they carry, in Rogue One. And I know the director of Rogue One can do that because he made me care about Cassian and Kay before their shows came out, and it made me really sad when they died. So I know he's capable of doing character development. And the positives I have are, yes, the characters like I slated. The dinosaurs, they're amazing as always. The dinosaurs, they're so scary. I love the horror scenes in this. The horror scenes are really, really good, especially with, the hybrid dinosaurs. Specifically, the Xenomorph T-Rex, he was really cool, even though we got, a few scenes. And I liked all the mutant dinosaurs. They were so cool. And I liked the whole plot of them having to cure a disease by going to this laboratory where there are, these mutant dinosaurs, a two-headed velociraptor and a Xenomorph T-Rex and these, mutated pterodactyls. It's so cool. And I just think it's a really creative premise. And instead of, the Xenomorph T-Rex having tiny arms like a normal T-Rex, he has, these giant arms that, throw stuff. It's actually so cool. It's, the dinosaurs in this film are really creative, and I feel like whoever designed the dinosaurs in this one needs to be kept around for future, because I heard they were doing a trilogy of these, and if they cut the family, I would be down to seeing a trilogy of this. If they get better and better and not worse and worse, I will be fine with that, because you know what? I'd like to see a trilogy. I'm giving Jurassic World Rebirth a solid 6.5 out of 10. It's good. If you want to go to the theater and see it, sure, if you want to. It's very fast-paced, and you know what? I think you'll maybe enjoy it. Now, on to How to Train Your Dragon, the live action. This came out a few months ago, and I was very slow to review it, but actually having seen it with Ray225, a really good friend of mine, I covered her videos in my 100 subs video. If you want to go watch that, I'll put a link in the description. It's Ray225 is a really big fan of How to Train Your Dragon, and I'm happy I got to see it with her. And I'm a diehard fan of the original How to Train Your Dragon films. I think they are amazing pieces of animation, and they really show what can be done when it comes to using animation to tell very deep and grounded stories. And I think this one, while being a pretty big shot-for-shot remake of the original, has enough original elements to justify its existence, and it makes me happy that this movie exists. The actors portraying Hiccup and Astrid and all the others, and they even have Fire Fist from Deadpool 2 playing a character. I'm not going to spoil who it is in case you want to know, but they have freaking Fire Fist in this film, so if that's not enough to get you to go see it, I don't know what is. But this film is overall really, really good. I really, really liked the CGI. It was so good, and I am also down to seeing a trilogy with these characters because, I think it was really good. I think it's what all live-action remakes should maybe try to be. Yes, it's adapting the original story, but it has enough original elements to justify its existence. Because, in my opinion, this solos every Disney live-action remake except for a select few, that being Jungle Book, Beauty and the Beast, maybe Aladdin, and maybe Alice in Wonderland, because those four have their own unique styles, and I may have nostalgia for a few of them, and that may justify a bit, but I actually, like a few of the Disney live-action remakes, but, a bit are kind of, So, yeah, I think if DreamWorks wants to continue making live-action remakes, you know what? I'm not gonna stop them, but it's got to be for select franchises, not Shrek, not Captain Underpants, not Madagascar, not any of those that are strictly fit to animation. I think maybe a live action Rise of the Guardians would be pretty cool, and maybe a live action. What else? Rise of the Guardians is pretty much the only one I thought. Well, I think they'll find something. Not Kung Fu Panda either, no. I'll make another separate video on that. But I'm down to also seeing a trilogy with these guys, which is actually going to happen because a new How to Train Your Dragon movie is set for 2027. So we got till 2027 to watch another How to Train Your Dragon live action remake, and I'm actually genuinely excited for that. So that'll be there when it comes. So thank you all for getting through this video, and I'm sure you guys have your own separate opinions on this film, and I'd like to hear them down in the comment section. So I got a good slate of videos planned in the future. I'm going to be pumping out as much content as possible during the summer because, unlike last year, I'm going to take the advantage of the summer this year, and I will see you all in the next one. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and thank you for the support you guys have been giving me on the last video. It really means a lot. Bye-bye!